Hello, everyone. Intuitive and astrologer Lisa Salvatore here, back with a little bit of a different video that I am so excited to bring to you to my channel. I have a wonderful guest with me. His name is John White. John, hello.
Hello, Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. And I'm going to just quickly read your bio and then we'll just jump right in and talk about all these amazing things that you're doing, which I'm so excited to talk more about with you. John White is a rife researcher and inventor from New Zealand, now living in Nanjing, China. With a background in electrical engineering, physics, and computer science, he has been researching and developing solutions to serious disease since 2008. John specializes in energy and scalar resonance healing, biofeedback, and PEMF therapy. With an insatiable desire for truth and knowledge, John has collaborated with global research groups to discover answers to health issues. At the beginning of John's career, the death of family members influenced him greatly. He felt the helplessness of being unable to extend the lives of those he loves. The subsequent death of his teacher and mentor brought focus to his determination to find a solution to the illness. The measure of a person is not what they own or earn, it is what they do. John was not rich in money terms, but was morally wealthy. His focus was on people, not profits. He believes that sickness should not be a business and restoration of health should be our primary objective. His vision was to provide people with knowledge and equipment so they can take control of their own health. John established the Cancer Clinic New Zealand Ltd in 2010 and introduced the Spooky 2 line of products to the world in 2013. Spooky is now the world's best health treatment system, encompassing many modes of treatment, local or remote. What started as a seed of an idea from one man has grown to become a forest of ideas shared by thousands. Wow, such
Yeah.
an interesting bio. And there's so much to dive into. Before we get started, I just want to share a quote with my listeners. As you know, I'm very big on energy and frequency and vibration. And it's a quote by the great Albert Einstein. We are slowed down sound and light waves, a walking bundle of frequencies tuned into the cosmos. We are souls dressed up in sacred biochemical garments, and our bodies are the instruments through which our souls play their music. Having said that, John, why don't you talk to us about how important are frequencies?
Frequencies are everything. So it's like asking how important are things? Without frequencies, we wouldn't be here. Nothing would be here. Nothing would exist. Frequencies make up matter, make up sound, make up everything, communications, everything. And what we're doing is just a small part of what frequencies can do overall. We at Spooky 2 focus on the healing aspect of frequencies, but there's nothing that frequencies can't do. You must know, Lisa, the healing effect of sound
Absolutely.
and the effect it has is just immense. So even for just the healing aspect, the soothing, the calming, allowing your body to do what it's supposed to do, which is heal and be healthy. Frequencies are truly everything. There is a quote which I can't remember completely with. It was from Nikola Tesla. I think we think about future medicine, think about frequencies and energy.
Yes.
And that really is everything. Um, on a technical aspect, frequencies can resonate things. These things can be large structures like bridges or towers. Quite often during earthquakes, structures which haven't got dampening to reduce resonance fall down. We take advantage of that, but on a molecular scale, and resonate pathogens inside your body so that pathogens fall down. We halt
Mm.
them in their tracks. It's really, really riveting concept. With resonance, maybe I should go back and explain really what resonance is for the viewers.
Mhm.
It's as simple as pushing a child on a swing. Intuitively, you push at the right time when the child is just about to start the swing again. There's a set rate of pushing the child, just like a frequency, pushing and back, pushing and back. And if you push the child at the wrong rate, the child doesn't swing at all.
Right.
The child will just come to a stop and have a grumpy face. And that's how resonance works. It's as simple as that. And we use that to push the bugs, these pathogens, viruses, bacteria, mold, all these nasty things in your body. Just push them at just the right rate where they start swinging wildly and they can't handle the energy, the huge amounts of energy that is accumulating within them. And then they become what we call non-viable, which means they can't multiply, they can't do anything. And more often than not, they just immediately cease to function. So it really is quite interesting work. My background initially was with electrical and electronics, and they discussed this a lot during the formal training about resonance and how you can tune different circuits to have maximum efficiencies and energy transfers and blah, blah, blah. But Lisa, they don't talk about the most important thing, which is the application for health. I mean, let's face it, we're all going to die. So if we can prolong that as long as possible, it means you can spend more time with your loved ones
Hmm.
and well, the government will say more productive, but um, spend more quality time. And especially if you can extend your health for a longer period of time.
Right.
And yes, I did lose a few family members to cancer, and I decided, well, okay, I'm standing here now in the hospital. The last time I saw my grandfather, he was healthy in my eyes. He died because of bleeding in the stomach. He was taking Voltaren, and I thought, well, this isn't quite right
Right.
because after that event, they didn't put out an announcement to say, stop using this drug. Um, they don't seem to acknowledge the risks with some ways of healing. But more than that, I was thinking, gosh, I am totally disempowered. I cannot do anything. And it's a horrible feeling. I mean, you must have been in situations where control is taken away from you and handled by people who know much better than you. And yeah, that's how I felt then. Now I was still a teenager, but so quite early I decided, no, I am going to do a change so that by the time I'm pushing up daisies, I will make a global change where I'll provide solutions. So people can decide, well, I am going to take matters into my own hands and resolve things my way on my terms. Um, I never ever recommend people to not see their trained registered medical professional. They're great. What I generally do is say, well, look, as well as that, let's see and supplement it with some other type of method. And quite often, diseases respond very well if they're attacked from multiple directions.
Right.
And so, yes, over the next few years, I first of all focused on learning as much as I could. And I realized that in formal studies, both at school, technical college, and university, it's very narrow, the things they teach. That there's a lot of gaps there and a lot of really interesting things just on the side, very applicable things, which they just don't teach.
Right.
I really don't know why. I mean, okay, everyone learns calculus and derived functions, but who's going to use that? But
Right.
everybody at some point in their lives needs help with their health. And if you have the knowledge, then you can apply that knowledge. So it's a life skill that I really want people to learn. So, okay, set up these machines, um, small production team, myself in the garage in New Zealand, which is a very, very small country. And but my focus and well, I wasn't thinking small. I was never thinking small. I was always thinking big, thinking global. And so I started producing these machines. And as I was doing this, more and more people saw what I was doing, saw my drive, saw the mindset that I had, which is people over everything, people over money, people over business, people over whatever, and joined me, gave me their knowledge. And so Spooky 2 has grown, not really due to me, but due to all these really good people around the world that have come on board. And some people say it's the age of Aquarius where it's a change.
Right, right.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. It's also an age of massive pushback from other people to
Hmm.
try and stop things from happening. But now Spooky, I know we're the largest alternative health device supplier, but we're so much more than that now. We've got charity work that is extensive throughout the world, where we support the hospitals, orphanages, and disaster support, releasing live animals each week. We're really serious about life.
Yeah,
And so if we are going to start talking about making devices, machines that help people in their road to recovery, we can't turn our eyes away from other lives as well. All lives are
absolutely.
important. And as a community, by helping the construction of a hospital, you can save thousands of lives, as an example. So this is, what are we, 15, 16 years down the track. I'm still the same. I'm still absolutely focused on solutions. Um, and we have a huge array of equipment which has been designed by very good people, loving people, whose desire is to use their expertise to make the world's best machines, sell it at the best price possible so that as many people can use them and become healed. And the way that we think is that, blessings, we are sending blessings to these people. And I know that it will be mirrored back to us for the good that we are doing. But if we're doing it for that reason, that's wrong. So we do it purely for the blessings of other people. And since people, what I find very often is that people that get on board with us, sometimes they might have a business, they might have a medical clinic set up, because we have registered doctors and everything in our
Hmm.
team. Um, After a little while, they kind of change their mindset. Instead of thinking, well, okay, we can save a few dollars here and there and this, they suddenly or slowly let go of all that and then talk only about the science behind the healing. And when it gets to that stage, it's really beautiful. You know, you don't, everyone's got, fine, things to buy, the food and everything, but you don't need excessive. You just need enough to get by.
Right.
And the rewards by helping so many people is just amazing. So yeah, that's what we do. We make a huge number of machines that apply frequencies. I know, Lisa, we better get on track again. That
It's
ma-
okay.
that make these frequencies, and the frequencies heal. But it's not just a single tone of frequencies. The frequency, if you like, of prayer is so incredibly healing.
Hmm.
And we've got devices that can broadcast a prayer or a mantra to your body. We've got um I'll try and say this without boasting, but I'm proud, okay? I'm proud.
Boast away, boast away.
Well, yes, and I want to try and make it like it's not a sales push, but we have got the world's only analog pulsed EMF device called Magic Pro. It's magic because it works like magic, and we've got three magics: a mini, a big magic, and then the Whopper, which is the Magic Pro. They're pulsed EMF devices, but most pulsed EMF devices, Lisa, work by sending blasts of energy to your body, and your body goes, what? What? I mean,
Hmm.
the cells in your body induce electrical currents, which charges your mitochondria, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we know all that.
Right.
And our mini magic and our big magic work on that principle. But we knew we could do better. So I get together with my team of scientists and researchers and brainstorm. And what we have now is an analog, a true analog pulsed EMF. Doesn't work on series of pulses or patterns or anything. It means you can treat yourself with your favorite song even, or sounds of any healing. Lisa, we are all different. Everyone's got different star signs and different people
Hmm.
respond to different things. And so you can send the audio that you connect with. Quite often people that are sick, if they have, okay, people come in and talk to them, the sound of their friends' voices can help them heal.
Hmm.
I mean, you try to explain that to a scientist, it just won't happen. Where's the science in there? But it is absolutely true. The sound of a loved one can keep you going. And so our Magic Pro can send these wonderful audios to every single cell in your body. Now you can't hear these audios, Lisa, because it's in magnetic form, because it still is a magnetic device. Um, and they in turn induce the little currents inside your cells that do the healing. But it's quite incredible knowing that um, audio can do so much. In fact, just recently, Lisa, now that you've asked me, um, relatively recently, we've learned and developed and advanced protein synthesis. And you're thinking protein, so what? I take a protein shake every morning. Well, proteins are life. Everything is protein. If you have a hereditary disease where protein is expressed incorrectly by your genome, there's no cure, right? There's no cure. But by stimulating certain proteins and inhibiting others, you can bypass the problem that you have lived with all your life through audio. Now, by audio, I'm talking about just turning on any sound player
Hmm.
and listening through your ears. This isn't even a product we sell,
Right.
but you can pay it through Magic Pro and get the benefit through all your cells. But it's really amazing things that you'd never think about with frequencies. There are frequencies for halting aging. There's everything, every disease you can think of can be halted or eliminated through the use of audio.
Isn't it true that the Rife machine has also been known to, it has in some cases shrunk tumors?
Oh, look, um, it's what I'm going to tell you is a bit sad. Um, Over 100 years ago, a researcher, a scientist by the name of Dr. Royal Rife, developed plasma machines that did just as you described.
Hmm.
Um, at that time, there wasn't such a pushback on that kind of equipment. So they organized a proper clinical trial with 16 terminally ill patients, and they all had cancer, and they were treated. Of the 16, 15 recovered completely, like no sign, no trace of tumors in their body. And the 16th person also got their problem disappeared. I've got to try and avoid the C word.
Hmm.
Their problem disappeared when they tuned the machine slightly different for him. I guess because everyone's different and he
Of
might have had
course.
different strains of
Hmm.
things inside his body. And so 16 out of 16 isn't too bad. Now, the sad part of the story is that technology has been pushed back so far, several generations now, that it's been virtually forgotten, or any reference to it is ridiculed as being pseudoscience,
Right.
which is extremely sad. But you know, and when I was young, doctors were called quacks, but now it's the other way around. They've
Right.
managed to twist so many things. Now, I'm not a I believe that doctors are good in their heart, okay,
Right.
but they only know what they know, as everyone is. You can't expect something from someone if they haven't been taught it, and they haven't been taught it through their school. They haven't been taught nutrition.
Right.
They've been taught other things, but not nutrition. And so this is what we're up against. This is the world we live in. Okay. That's the way it is. But what can we do about it? And so we have these machines that you can apply. And we have a machine that copies Dr. Royal Rife's machine
Right.
called our Spooky Central, which is a plasma machine, doesn't use a carrier. It follows exactly the machine that Royal Rife developed, which does, as you say, shrink tumors. And we've had, that machine is a very mature machine. It's been out for maybe 8 years.
Hmm.
Yeah, 8 years. And it's had so much success. It's just, and it's been hard to improve on as well. So it's still as it was. It's where the universe kind of directs. I don't know whether you think this way, but sometimes the best answers is just emptying yourself of all this nonsense and just relaxing. I guess like as if you're like when you do and go in a meditation state and let the universe talk to you
Hmm.
and let things flow. And that's how Central came about. It's a very complex machine, but it's magic. And even now, I think, gosh, did I do that? That really is a piece of art.
Hmm.
I stand back and think, wow, and I try and tweak this and tweak that, but I can't really improve it. It's really, really good. So that's that machine there. Yeah. So that's the closest. We have lots of ways of sending frequencies to your body. There's the plasma, there's contact mode. We even do cold laser, which is wonderful for making your blood healthy again, detoxifying. And here I'm sounding like a salesperson, but hear me through. We were developing our cold laser unit, and we got, I mean, all the electronics we can do. That's my qualifications. So I got a device ready, but I'm still thinking. I'm a scientist. I want proof, positive. I want to see it with my own eyes. Now, we have got a biological laboratory in our headquarters. I make it sound grandiose, headquarters. But it is a room and it's got a Faraday cage and other type of test equipment and microscopes and incubators and things. And I thought, well, let's get get some guinea pigs in, who is some of our staff, and do a before and after of our blood analysis. I mean, you see it on the YouTube and internet, and it
Hmm.
shows, blood before and afterwards. But I wanted to see it for myself because every photo or video I'd seen was from people that were selling products. So, maybe they use Photoshop or something. So, so I did. Picked my thumb and my colleagues did the same thing, had a look and recorded it, and then applied a cold laser to our blood, which is like an oversized watch for it's either 20 or 30 minutes. I think it was 20 minutes because I'm kind of impatient by nature. And then looked at the microscope again, and it really was amazing. Before, it is absolutely true. Like I am healthy. I'm very, very energetic. And I'm thinking, well, my blood's going to be round and with a little dimple in the center in
Hmm.
the beginning, but it wasn't, Lisa. It was kind of spiky and looked a little bit ugly and clumping together, like,
Right.
and I thought, oh yeah, 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 yeah. But what can cold laser do? But after cold laser for that time, the blood cells truly do look, you know, plump with a
Hmm.
dimple in the center, flowing textbook blood
Right.
cells. It looks really amazing. And this is just through light. So I was absolutely amazed. And so from then I thought, right, now we're going to make a final product from this. So we have, and we've made several cold laser products. But cold laser is amazing. Again, they're frequencies. They're frequencies of light. So the frequencies are fast,
Right.
but it's still frequencies, Lisa. It's still frequencies.
Absolutely.
And so applying these frequencies to your blood, the blood cells on the science side, the mitochondria absorb the red light, and that's energy. It's kind of like taking a Red Bull and then, in fact, I wonder if Red Bull's in the dictionary. It should be. And then suddenly they can do what they're supposed to do, which is
Hmm.
transporting oxygen, removing CO2, and also delivering nutrients. Um, but the cold laser wrist also has different color for different things. For detox, you really want to go faster frequencies. So there's a blue for that. Red is very
Okay.
slow frequencies with regards to light anyway. And we've got yellow for other things. It's for the immune system boosting.
Hmm.
So just in a little watch, just
Right.
wear it for half an hour or leave it on all day. It doesn't matter. You can't overdose in cold laser. It's very low energy.
Right.
And over the course of a few days, you just feel better. You just feel great. You're sleeping better, doing everything better, and yeah. So yeah, we do cold laser. What else? We do scalar. Wow,
Mm.
scalar. That's one of the most powerful ways of healing. In fact, the plasma unit. Let me know if I'm talking too much.
You're the expert. I just always find it fascinating because the human body is amazing and it knows what to do to heal itself. And
Yeah.
obviously we do need medical intervention at times, but it's like when you have a really bad cold, some people will rush right to the doctor and take antibiotics,
Yes.
and no judgment on
Yes.
that at all. But I've always
No.
been more of the belief I'm pretty in tune with my body, so I usually will know if I need medical intervention, and I
Yeah.
will go to the
Yeah.
doctor. But
Yeah.
unless they tell
Yeah.
me something majorly is wrong, I'm gonna ride it out and just do a little bit of extra care. And I'm a huge believer of the self healing. So something like these machines, and especially the laser, just to me, it's profound because you can see how with just that little bit of extra, it can make such a
Mm.
difference in your overall health and healing.
Sometimes I think, absolutely, I really 100% agree with you. Sometimes I think, well, if you start getting sick and you do something to remove it as in a supplement, as in, well, it's not a supplement, but we know what it is.
Hmm.
These compounds, it's not helping the body for next time.
Right.
Like the body's got to train to handle things, and if it doesn't, then your body starts depending
Hmm.
on these things.
Yeah, and
And
then when you really need them,
yeah, yeah,
if God forbid you really need them, they might not
yeah,
work the same because you've
that's
built up
right.
some sort of tolerance and or resistance to it.
That's right. That's right. So in that aspect, I'm the same as you. Like, I know my body. I've been
Hmm.
with my body for quite a while, and so I've learned to listen. And when I feel that something's off, I do something about it.
Right.
Like if I start feeling a little bit unwell, I'd use a cold laser wrist because it's so convenient and sleep more.
Yes. It's sometimes it's that obvious, but it's
I
often
know.
overlooked, and we tend to burn the candles on both ends, and we run our bodies ragged, and then we wonder why we're sick, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's right. You know, I'll explain the connection between something very simple and something very serious. Sleep is of tantamount importance. It's when your body can remove all the toxins, everything from the brain down to the whole body
Hmm.
gets rid of them, does the housekeeping. And without sleep, they build up. Um, if you don't get sleep, your immune system does not become so efficient,
Right.
and then serious diseases can take grip. Diseases like the cancers can take grip. Now, by simply changing to your light bulbs in your house from LED to something more, oh, and probably fluoro to incandescent,
Hmm.
or wearing blue blocking glasses,
Yes.
you can stop yourself from getting cancer. And how? Because you get your sleep, you get quality sleep.
Yes.
And but, but people leave things to the last minute when there is a
Mm.
bushfire
Right,
instead of a spark, and then they do need to have things, seriously done,
right,
like
right.
cutting, poisoning, radiation, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But really, if you learn to listen to your body, yeah, that's super, super important. Our scalar unit, we developed scalar through, okay, we steal ideas. We stole ideas from Nikola Tesla, who was a brilliant
Mm-hmm.
scientist, who in 1901, invented a way of creating scalar waves. His focus was on energy, but since his time, people have discovered it's extremely good for healing. Just a normal scalar field without anything put into it is incredibly healing. And Nikola Tesla, in one of his patents, said how when he was sitting next to this scalar device, high power one, very high power, he felt very energized, very good. And he lived into his 90s, which in his era was
Right.
really
Unheard of.
remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we picked up his ball and ran with it. And we've created a scalar device, not a high power one. So you're not going to be powering the power grid at all,
Right.
but it creates a scalar field between two little suitcases. And anyone within the scalar field will receive the healing scalar frequency. Um, Now, scalar, generally, I don't call it scalar frequency because it's a stationary field. It's like a bubble,
Mm-hmm.
but you can put frequencies into it. And so you can place substances which themselves have molecular frequencies. All their atoms are buzzing around with the electron buzzing around the nucleuses onto the scalar unit. And the information of those frequencies is put into the scalar field. So that is called molecular modulation. We had to think of some name.
Molecular modulation. Okay.
Yeah, but that's absolutely amazing. That really opened the floodgates to healing because instead of just treating diseases, you can also do other kind of issues for additional health. You can put healing or health promoting supplements onto the unit. Vitamin C. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
I
why
was
not
just
if you
thinking
want
that.
to?
Yeah.
But that's the basic. I mean, glutathione.
Glutathione.
If you want to
Mm-hmm.
go to the heavy duty one, I do.
Right.
I'm quite into supplementations as well because I believe that health is multi-pronged. It's both physical, which can be through frequencies, can be through diet, supplements, and it can also be spiritual as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is spiritual as well. And so it's all part of the big picture.
Right.
So we can't focus just on one thing. And so once you have the ability of putting the benefits of any supplement into your body directly, then you get receive the benefits of those supplements. So you can put anything on it. You can put crystals on it. You can do whatever you like.
Right.
And that's called being empowered. All of a sudden, you're the director of your own health. What you put on that unit is going to affect you. So people should do their research and make sure that what they're doing is right. But there's so
Absolutely.
many things you can do. Essential oils. Um, yeah, so many things. The healing modalities are out there. And all the information's still there. That luckily they haven't removed all of it. They've
Right.
removed a great portion of it on the internet,
Mm.
but there were still pockets there.
Well,
Um,
I think it's going to be very interesting as we move into the next few years, just for where we are as the collective, because just quick astrological terminology, Pluto is going to enter Aquarius for good come November of this year and will be in Aquarius until 2043, 2044.
wow.
And, Aquarius is, all of the signs and planets have various functions, but Aquarius, just some of the subjects, areas that Aquarius governs are science, technology, travel, air travel, space travel. We're also going to have a lot going on in the world of medicine and the future of that. And then as we look into the planet Saturn finishing up its trek through Pisces, and it's going to line up with Neptune 2025 and 2026, that's medicine. That's Neptune. Neptune is medicine. So it's very interesting to me that all of where we're going, I think there's going to be such a major uptick and upsurge of these types of modalities in relation to, of course, the medical side. But I do believe a lot more people are waking up to this and seeing it in a different way, in a different light. And I believe that's just going to continue and only get stronger as we move through the next 5 years or so and then beyond. So it's going to be
Uh,
interesting to see how it all plays out.
Pluto on the side of it has a huge heart. Scientists will say it's because of an asteroid impact that blasted into it and made that, but we all know it's not.
Right. Right. Of course.
And we all know that Pluto is actually a planet. It's not a lump of rock as they try and make us.
Right. Right. And there will be more discoveries over the next decade, planetarily
Yeah, I
speaking.
love
So
Pluto.
yeah. Yeah.
My, my,
Are you an Aquarius, by the way?
no, I'm not an Aquarius. I'm
Okay.
Taurus. I'm a cusp.
That's so
I'm a
funny.
cusp.
Okay. I'm a Taurus
Why?
also.
Good or funny bad? If it's funny bad, you can tell me later.
No, no, not at all. But it's funny because when you were speaking before, I was thinking he's got strong Aquarius in there. And then I said to myself, I bet
Wow,
you he's a Taurus. Not kidding.
really?
I'm also a Taurus. So it made me laugh when you just said that
Wow.
because I knew you were going to say that. So
Intuition.
yeah.
Intuition. If you a lot of people can develop this ability, and it's really about listening to yourself and listening to everything that's around you, like emptying yourself of all the nonsense you've been taught at
Yes.
school, and then
Yes.
becoming receptive to the real truth that's out there. And I think you've done that where from an early age, you've developed this ability where it becomes easy for you to tap in to the answers, tap into what other people just can't see. So,
It's easier now as an adult just because you understand it differently. But as a child, it can sometimes feel it could feel very overwhelming because you could feel a lot of things energetically, but if you go to say them, they don't make sense because, well, how would somebody understand that unless they see it? Whereas now it's more like, well, no, I just know that to be the truth because I feel it, because I have that inner wisdom, that inner guidance, and which we all have. We all have it. We just have to learn.
we do.
Yeah.
But there's a problem. When I was very young, I could see through walls. I could see when someone's there. I could feel truths. But then I got so focused in career and
Yes.
mortgage and rubbish
Rubbish.
and
Yeah.
these things. Well, it is, isn't
It
it?
is. It
Because
is. Yes, it is. Well, this is why children, when they're 5 years old, well, maybe even I'll stretch it to 6 or 7 and younger, they say things that are literally coming from another dimension because they're
yes,
still very closely connected to the other side technically because they're fresh souls. So
yes,
then and once the world starts to get integrated into their everyday reality and they start school and then the outside world becomes more common for them than the internal,
yeah,
they kind of
yeah.
lose some of that. And it's really interesting because if you listen to children, they're so intuitive and they're so tuned in because they don't have anything else to go off of. And it's interesting because I do work with a lot of mothers and we'll talk about their young children and how intuitive they are. And it's beautiful to me to see that they're fostering their intuition. They want them to stay that
Yes,
way. They want
yes.
them, and I love that because that's going to make this world a better place. Now, I'm not saying you throw away all of the practical sides of life. We can't do that, but it's good to see that there's such a shift. At least from what I see, there's a major shift going on. It's nice.
My daughter, she's 4, turning 5 soon.
Hmm.
She said to me, "Daddy, I got touched by a ghost." Now,
Was it spooky? I'm sorry, I had a bad joke. I had to
into the
do it.
corner, into
Yeah.
the corner. It was spooky, and I could have made her like scared, or said it's not. But I said, "Wow, like how amazing is it? Was it a good ghost? I bet it
Right.
was a good ghost. It was a cheeky, fun ghost, wasn't it?" But the normal reaction of people would be to say, no, it can't be because,
Right.
and then they throw facts in.
They suppress.
Facts. And facts are the worst thing you can talk about when you start talking about things like this. Let's talk, like souls. Everyone's got a soul, and we
Hmm.
inarguably have a soul. But you try and measure it, what's its dimensions, what's its weight. Scientists have not proven that we have a soul, so therefore souls really still don't exist. They start talking about energy, the signals in the brain and
Right.
everything. But what happens then if you're having a near-death experience and you see yourself, you're outside your body? What's happening there?
Right.
Oh, that's just lack of oxygen. Lack
Yes.
of oxygen and blah. Oh gosh, they just will do everything to avoid, the truth, which
But
is that
and energy.
spirits,
Yeah.
energy, everything is there.
I'll just tell you a quick story, not to totally derail the conversation here, but in 2020, my grandmother passed away, and
Oh,
I went to see her in the hospital not long before she passed. And it was during COVID, so it was, only one person could
oh,
go at a time, and it was,
yeah.
a production. So I was there, I was by
Gosh.
myself. And when I
Mm,
went there, she was not conscious because she had been having fluid build up in her lungs. So they had just finished draining her lungs when I got there, and she was
mm,
sitting. Her room was right outside the nurse's station, and
yeah.
I went in there, and I had that feeling. I just knew she was getting ready to go. You could just tell,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I walked up to the bed, and she wasn't coherent or conscious, but I know she heard me. I know she
Yes.
did. And I walked
Yes.
up to her, and I was, doing a little bit of Reiki on her, and I was talking to her, and her face was moving, like she was processing what I was saying. And then my sister, who lived out of state at the time, still does. We called her, and I put the phone to my grandmother's ear, because I'm sure the hearing is the last thing to go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I watched her reacting to my sister's voice. And it was really quite fascinating, but she didn't wake up, she didn't open her up, nothing. And then I stayed there for a little while longer, and I was just talking to her, and I said right before I left, well, she at one point sat up, eyes were still closed, and she
Wow.
said, "Nurse, turn off the music, I'm trying to sleep." And she went back down. And then the doctor came in about 10 minutes later, and I said to the doctor, "Oh, I think she's getting ready to go. She just said this." And she was, "Oh, that's the medication. She's hallucinating."
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
internally rolled my eyes because I knew what I
Yeah.
was witnessing. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
for anybody that doesn't believe that's real, I've witnessed it many times. And
Yes.
I said to her before I left, "You better let me know when you get there." That's what I said to her. And I kid you not, months later, I had a very vivid visitation from her through a dream, and she let me know she got there. So it was it's always fascinating to me. But to me, this is such a part of my everyday. I know it's real. I believe in energy. It's in frequency and the other side. I know that it's real. So you don't have to convince me. But there's so many other people that think it's crazy because they might not have experienced it, or they might have experienced it but never realized they experienced it because they were closed off to it,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely right.
So
Well, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that. You didn't derail at all. Is right on topic.
yeah, it's
So,
interesting.
oh, so everything is sound, is frequencies. Um, yeah, it is a bit hard to get back on track, isn't it? Where
It's
should we?
okay. It's I will say with sound healing, I have experienced such tremendous the cleansing of my cells that I have felt at such a deep level that I've never felt before. And one time I had a sinus infection, and
Yes.
my friend Jen is an amazing sound healer in New York, and she said to me, come to the healing tonight. And I said, "Well, I have a sinus infection. I don't really know if I want to be in the same room with people, if I'm contagious or something." And she said,
Yeah.
"Well, there's
Yeah.
only four of us." And she said, "If it makes you feel any better, everybody's been sneezing and coughing and whatnot." And this was, BC, before COVID. So I said, "Okay, I'll
Yeah.
go." And when I tell you, BC, when I
Yeah.
left that sound healing, I didn't even realize it until I was halfway home in the car. I could breathe. I felt amazing. I was tired, of course, because so much release had gone on, but
Mm,
I
mm.
could breathe, and my sinus infection was no longer there. And I do not believe that that is a coincidence. And since then, I've become a very huge advocate for sound healing and frequency because it works.
Right. Oh,
E-
absolutely.
And I tell people all the time, even if you don't want to spend on anything right now and you're afraid to try it, just go on YouTube and Google healing frequencies and just give yourself 10 minutes with your headphones. You can't tell me that it won't do something to you or for you, right?
Right, right. And there's lots of audios on YouTube that you can just choose and pick whatever one you want. Yeah. I guess you must have tried singing bowls as well.
Yes. Yes.
Aren't they beautiful? You could go to sleep so easy, just so
Oh my
relaxing.
gosh. And again, you feel it reverberate through your body. It's like
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's to
yeah.
me it's the best form of meditation. Sound healing. Sound healing, sound bowls, it's the best form of meditation.
But it's talking the language of the body.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so, yeah,
I
it
find also
makes sense.
your body will always when you pay attention to it, it will always tell you what area needs attention, right?
Yes.
I can't even express how many times I'm working with a client who thought were having a heart attack, for example, because they were having terrible,
Gosh.
pains going on in their chest and things of
Yeah.
that nature. And they're going to the doctor and they're having all the tests and they're not finding anything. And
Mm.
you start to dig into it and it's like, well, okay, let's talk about what's going on emotionally, right?
Yes,
The heart
yes,
chakra.
yes,
And
yes,
then they realize, oh, could that really be it? Yes, absolutely, it can be it. Same thing, I don't have to tell you. Same thing with, the kidneys or the liver. There's always there's another basis to it besides the medical component. We know that. And I
yes.
think that the more we
Yeah.
can lean into the energy of the organs and what they rule over and what's going on in our reality, it's not to say that's why it happened, but it could just give you more of an idea as to what could be enhancing the discomfort as opposed to what could actually help you alleviate some of that discomfort.
Right, right. That's right. Shift the focus from treating a symptom and blocking off the communications that your body's trying to make with you.
Exactly.
Pain is a communication. Pain is the body telling you, hey, I need help,
Right.
desperate help.
Do you know, many years ago, I actually I wasn't feeling right. And
Mm.
I had a virus and I definitely caught it on the airplane. This was like in 2017. And I was sick. I mean, I just didn't feel right. My body was so run down. I had a fever for like a
Yeah.
week. I went to the
Wow.
doctor 3 times. For me to go to the doctor 3 times, I'm not feeling well because I don't do that. And he
Yeah.
kept saying, "You're fine. Your labs are fine." And I said, now I'm starting to get scared because I don't want to say it, but I was thinking something major because of
Yeah.
how I was
Mm,
feeling. And I said,
mm,
"Doctor, you don't understand. I know my body. The way I
mm,
feel
mm.
right now is not normal. I could barely drive myself here today. Like there's something going on."
Right.
They never found anything. So probably about 10 days after that, I started to feel slightly better. And then I said, okay, maybe this really was
Mm,
just some freak virus and I'm okay now.
right.
A couple weeks after, I had met up with somebody who was a chiropractor, a holistic chiropractor near my office space. And he said, come in and I'll do some, what is what is the testing called? The NRT, the nutritional response testing.
Okay. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So he puts the supplements down your body and he can tell if you have something going on. And
Mm.
he put these medicines on me and he got down by my side and he said, "You have mercury poisoning." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "You go get tested. You got something going on with your mercury." He was right. And the
Mm.
weird thing is that I guess I don't even really eat a lot of tuna or anything, but I must have up until that point. So I
Right.
actually had to alert they had to alert the health department about my mercury level because I guess it was too high. I'm fine now. It was fine after I, did some sort of a protocol and it went down, but it
Yeah.
was the strangest thing and it was all that was from that. The way that I felt was from the mercury poisoning.
Gosh. Yeah. And imagine if you had never discovered that.
And my
You'd
point
be,
is the doctors didn't catch it.
no, no, because they don't do
They weren't
nutrition, and
testing
that sort
for
of
it
falls
exactly.
quite regularly. I use our devices to get rid of heavy metals. There's a terrain protocol which removes heavy metals and parasites and things in your body. It gives your body a flush, and it's just a program that you run, and it's simple, just choosing a preset and running it. Um, Actually, I didn't mention we have a remote system, which means you can treat yourself while you don't have to be sitting down. You can be anywhere. just uses your DNA and uses quantum entanglement to send the frequencies. I do that quite regularly.
Wow.
Um, yeah, maybe once every 2 months, so kind of regularly. Just to make
It's
this is
amazing.
like a spring clean, spring clean. But frequencies can work with other things. So I also take EDTA, which is a chelation agent for heavy metals. I, I I'm a vegetarian, so I won't get mercury poisoning from tuna, but I will from breathing the poison there that's prevalent in cities
Right.
everywhere, but probably particularly so in China. So yes, I do regularly take EDTA as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm fine. I don't want to. Um, Diseases don't. They always come for a reason. Either it's a spiritual reason or if it's a health reason. I don't want it myself to get sick because my overall health has become reduced, either through getting older, which arguably shouldn't happen anyway, or through pollution or environmental
Right.
factors like EMF
Right.
and things.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
that's just it. The EMF is such a big thing now, and you just have to try to do what you can to keep yourself as consciously healthy as you possibly can, right?
absolutely. That's pretty proactive,
Yes.
which is what we've been saying from the start. Our company, well, we've got several company mottos, but the main one is take control.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we're, with the idea of taking control of your own health, you know,
Yeah.
doesn't mean not seeing other people for help, but you know, you should really be your best doctor, your own
Ab-
best doctor.
Absolutely. Now
You
you
don't
can
get,
use these devices several times a week, right? There's no harm
oh,
in
well,
using them.
actually, at any given time, I think I'm using one continuously by
Wow.
remote again. But if I'm not doing my terrain protocol, I'm doing other things as well.
Okay.
I've got a young family, so I want to live a long age, to a
Yeah.
long age. And so I do longevity things as well, just to make sure that um, I'm above ground and I can give them away when they're going to get married.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Or
Yes.
try and hold them back.
Right. Right.
Don't go, don't go.
You just want to be here for it. That's the most important thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
I
and
get it.
there was, and as I said, I've got two children. The youngest one, she's not even two. So yeah, I want to be around for a very long time to
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy life with them. And if it wasn't for them, I'd still want to be around a long time because it means for a longer duration I can be with my friends and family
Yeah.
and learn and help others longer.
Well, you will
So
be here. You have a lot of work to do
I
to keep
do.
us all. Yeah. I mean, this is
That's what my
amazing.
wife tells me all the time.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, as we're speaking, I actually have my feet on my grounding pad under my desk. I have one that
Great,
I sleep on. So it's
great,
a,
great. So you're proactive. Yeah.
I try to
Well,
be. I'm not always perfect, but I try to be as much as I can.
good.
We can only do what we
Wonderful.
can do, right?
We can. Now we can always do more, but we've just got to take things step by step by step. It's like peeling an onion. A lot of people are living life feeling low energy. They might be thinking, well, I'm only getting 7 hours sleep or my work's hard and things like that. But they don't realize anything. They don't know that it's for another reason because
Right.
that's all they've known for such a long time.
Hmm.
And going from really healthy as a child to an adult where you're slowing down and starting getting aches and pains in the joints and things, it happens so slowly.
Right.
You don't notice
Right.
until it's there.
Yeah.
But you can reverse things, which is
Absolutely.
wonderful. Everything from collagen regenerations for your joints to
Yes.
increasing the amount of synovial fluid in the joints. There's things you can do, so many things you can do, but you
That's what,
won't get a
right.
doctor telling you about it. You've got to
That is
really
very
do
true.
the hard yards yourself. Yeah.
One thing I'm so grateful I started to do very early on was I started with collagen in my early 20s, which I would, and I've taken it religiously, and I know it's made a huge difference for me. And it's the one thing
Yes.
I've always stayed consistent with, always. So,
Right.
and I'm
Right.
also a big believer in, this is a whole nother topic, but trying to do as natural skincare as you can. Less, right? Like with oils and things like that.
Absolutely. We
So,
do. We are talking the same language.
right. Just trying to, minimize, because there's risk with everything we do, with everything we put
But
into our
listen,
bodies, everything we put on our bodies. It's like it's a
crazy.
lot. It's overload,
Sure.
right?
Well, things you put on your body, you put it on using your hands, and then you can eat things with your hands, or so it ends up through your mouth. But not just that, but your skin absorbs all these
It's the
things, and
largest
it goes
organ.
straight into your blood system.
Exactly.
And so what some things I do struggle with. I struggle with the morality of a manufacturer that puts aluminium into deodorants, knowing full well that there have been
Right.
multiple studies proving that it causes breast cancer.
Yep.
Who proves it? And your armpits are right next to
I
there.
know.
It's like,
I know.
and these people have got a conscience. I bet they've got a board of directors and shareholders and everything else that companies have.
Absolutely. You can make your own deodorant for
I
relatively
know.
for nothing, and it lasts
Yeah.
forever. You just have to
Yeah.
kind of tinker with the ingredients so you don't get like that, the baking soda burn or anything like that. But or you can buy, fragrance free, paraben. You can like Native is a great brand. They have so many brands that you can look into that are a lot safer for you.
I
But it just
know.
takes the research.
I
I
know.
laugh because of course, you can't, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't do anything or put anything in my body that's not great. That's
Yeah.
not great, but I mean, I'm saying that wrong. Not everything is perfect is my point. However, years ago I had a severe allergic reaction to something that I don't know what it was. It was all around my eyes and here.
Gosh.
So it was obviously something I was putting on my face. And at the
Yes.
time, I was just washing my face with ivory soap, which is supposed to be like very pure,
Mm.
and I was moisturizing with coconut oil, which
Yeah.
isn't that bad. Well, long story short, after months of testing, the allergist said I was allergic to basically every synthetic fragrance. And he was
Wow.
asking me what I was using on my face. And I said, well, I'm using ivory. And he said, well, there's fragrance in ivory. And I didn't know that. So from that point, I said, that's it. I have to figure out something because I was so frustrated. So I went to as much natural makeup I could find when I use makeup. And then
Mm. Mm.
for moisturizer, I started making my own. This is going to sound disgusting. Well, not to you, but it's beef tallow. So, or
Okay.
beef tallow, vitamin E, and olive oil. I make a moisturizer out of that,
Right.
and it's been amazing. And I've
Yeah.
gotten so many people turned on to it now. Like, wait, what? What do you use? Give me the ingredients, and I give it to them, and they use it, and it doesn't. It. I know it probably you as a vegetarian are probably cringing inside, so
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
a little bit,
but
but yeah, there's several things like collagen even I wouldn't because most of
Mhm.
it's marine based.
Right,
But there are lots of alternatives you can do. But this the fact that you are proactively doing things yourself instead of, oh, I'll try a different shop and try and buy something
right,
different.
right.
Also making it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really taking control because you know what goes into it.
I pretty much make I'm very good about that. I will say I pretty much make everything as much as I can naturally, and of course
Right.
you can't do everything, but
So you're a business's worst nightmare because you're not buying products from a company. For these people that
yeah.
sell creams and deodorants and things, gosh, that'd be
No, I don't. Yeah, I use my own that I make. The deodorant I make for the most part, I have the native brand for like supplemental if I don't, if I don't have time to
yeah,
make a new batch.
yeah,
Yeah, I pretty much I try to do as much as I can, naturally. Soap is
yes,
not, no fragrance or anything like that.
yes.
Because a lot of those fragrances, if you research the ingredients in the fragrance, it's very disturbing what it says. So anyway, I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but it's true. We have to be our skin is
It
the
is
largest organ,
disturbing.
and we have to remember whatever goes on the skin is going right inside your system.
That's right. That's right.
So
And you look at the reason why they're adding these ingredients is to make it so it smooths better, feels better, and lasts longer on the shelf. I mean, I keep my stuff in the fridge for as long as I can.
right.
Um, for yeah, they're putting really. practical things over health. And
Yeah.
so they're compromising.
Well, think of
So
it
if you
this way,
buy,
John. Sorry,
mm,
think of it this way. Men have been historically known to age, I don't want to say better, but more gracefully maybe than women have,
you're
right?
really serious? I
Well,
was thinking
no,
the
no, no, no,
opposite.
no. What I mean is, women are beautiful and they age. What I mean is, classically speaking, men tend to not. There's not such as much of a focus on men's physical looks, their face, their skin. It's more of a focus for women. But if you look at men, they're they tend to wrinkle later, for example. I am of the
Really?
belief that it's because
Really?
they do not put product on their face.
Oh, that's an interesting
Think
thought.
about it. Do you put eye creams and all kinds of creams on your
No,
face?
no,
Okay, you're
no,
right.
no. And I use bar soap for washing my face, scrub my
Exactly.
face.
Exactly. But they complicate all of that for women. Oh, if you want to look 10 years younger, try this product. If you and hey, listen, I'd fall victim to it as well, right? But if you want to look 10 years younger, do this or and so think about that. You're you don't do that. You don't really right.
But I never
It's
thought, really? I always thought, I mean, George Clooney, you couldn't say that he's wrinkle free, but somehow the wrinkles fit him. Maybe that's more the point. Like you don't really, I thought men were more wrinkly than women overall. I'm going to be looking today.
I don't know.
You, you've started
I'm gonna
something.
stop talking about this. But I guess what I'm saying is that it's more common for women to go through a bunch of different products searching for the right one
Yeah.
to minimize what they perceive as their problem spot, right?
Oh, okay.
Whereas men don't, unless it's something really obvious, they're not going to really do anything about it.
I have noticed that um, in China, everything's on lists because you've got apartments, big rise things everywhere. And but in New Zealand, everyone's excited if they get into a lift. They hold on to the side. What is this? What is this? What's happening? But anyway, um, there's a mirror almost on every lift here. There's a big mirror on the far wall, and women, when they come in, they check themselves and then adjust.
Right.
But guys, they just look at their phones here.
Yeah. It's more simple for it is. It's just the truth. It's more simple
Okay.
for men, I think, and it's okay. I mean, it is what it is.
So okay, I'll still do. I'll be on alert today, and I'll inspect people's wrinkles from different angles.
Can the machine do something about that?
Oh, absolutely. We've got
Yeah.
anti-aging
Okay.
programs for running. I've created anti-aging programs, got all the things like the hydroxytyrosol and other really high, amazingly effective things to both make you look better and also be younger because there's tricks you can do.
Right.
It's called biohacking, where you
Mm-hmm.
can actually
Mm-hmm.
lengthen telomerase and you can reduce the rate of reduction and do all sorts of things. And all these things which I know of, I've added into these different presets, which are frequencies.
I love it.
And so instead of having to spend thousands on it's expensive, don't you, Lisa, on these products, you do it for free. And the program's free, the database is free. So
Right.
even if you don't have Spooky, you can still use the frequencies,
And I'm going to
right?
put everything down below in the description
Okay.
box also, just so everybody knows where they can find you and where they can look more into your products and how they can see how they can receive the product, how to purchase it. Yeah, what else? What else would you like to?
I think what we now, what did we start talking about? It was frequencies, wasn't it?
Frequencies,
But
yes. And then we went
because
off.
yeah, well, it's not moving off actually, because frequencies are everything. So it's hard to move away from frequencies. And we've talked about aspects that people probably wouldn't normally associate with frequencies. So
Right.
it's probably been a healthy discussion.
Right.
I I think animals could be more tuned to their own bodies than humans. Maybe because they haven't got
Yes.
the
And they're more tuned to our bodies. There's so many stories
yes,
about owners where the dog knew the owner had cancer before the owner knew. The dog would be
yes,
licking their knee, and that's where the cancer was, or something.
yeah,
And then they would
yeah.
find out. And so it's pretty interesting.
Wow, yeah,
Good
wow. We've
conversation. Good
talked
conversation.
we've talked about a lot. We've talked
A
about a
lot of
lot.
different things.
We've talked about everything except our product, which is kind of cool because it's been very interesting. That's been really interesting. So how do we recover from this?
Yes.
It's yeah, frequencies truly are everything. If people can utilize the use of frequencies to their advantage and use frequencies to heal themselves, um, we have training videos on YouTube
Hmm.
to help people understand the concepts of frequency healing, how it's not pseudoscience, it actually is
Right.
real. We've got hundreds of thousands of testimonials of people that
Yes.
really thought that they were going below ground and then they recovered.
I was
And
reading
so
about that.
they feel moved to contact us and say thank you. It's just that's really our drive, to be truth be
Right.
known,
Right.
you know.
Well,
It's not it's not it's
I
not for
have
profits
I
and
have
things.
mine,
It's
and I'm gonna get started on it soon. I got the starter pack, so I'm the starter
wonderful.
kit, so I can't wait to get started with that. But I want to really research to make sure I do it correctly, before I
Right,
start
right.
using it. But I'm so excited to use it.
Right.
So,
If the viewers do want to go to see what else we do, just go to spooky2-mall.com. We have kit sets there. So if you're not
mhm.
sure, just get a starter's kit.
Right.
Dip your toe in the water and discover the healing abilities of frequencies.
I'm
It'll be
gonna
the
come
best way.
back after I use it and give my full, because I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I already know that it will be. So I can't wait.
It is. Even for people that don't think anything's going to happen, they think, oh, it's placebo.
Right.
Well, even people like these hard-nosed people, they come back and, oh, gosh, there is actually something there.
Right. Something
And
happened.
something happens, yes.
Yeah.
And animals, they don't really go for the placebo effect, and they heal as well.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, it's great. It's a
I would imagine
wonderful
it can
line
make
to
you
be in.
feel, like for example, if you have arthritis, I would imagine it would be amazing for arthritis and things that have to do with the joints and it just, right? It would make people feel a lot more energized. From what I was reading with the testimonials, a lot of people were saying that
Yeah,
it gave them
yeah.
back their life,
I know,
essentially.
I
Yeah,
know. It
it's pretty
is.
amazing.
I mean, what's the point in living to an old age if you're
Right.
lying in bed or it
I
hurts
know. I know.
to move? That
Yeah.
sucks. It's terrible.
And actually, I was reading about it seemed like there was a lot of people that were talking about Lyme disease, that it helped them with their Lyme disease. So again, well, arthritis, they're all similar in the way in which they generate, correct? That's all
They are
autoimmune.
kind of similar. Well,
Yeah,
they're definitely similar in the way that they diminish the
right.
quality of life.
But I mean, it was fascinating to hear so many different accounts of it and in different ways, but yet they all say they say something similar, which is that the frequency literally has healed them to an extent.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And these are people that we've only known as customers
right,
coming back to us to say this. I mean, we're not paying, they're not, soldiers or anything for us.
right, right, right,
They're real people, Sometimes they say things like, oh, but this doesn't work. And so after they give that testimonial, then you might go back to them or explain to them what they're doing wrong or something,
right.
But they're raw testimonials. I needed to, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you can tell.
beautiful.
I mean, that's why. And honestly, I'm so paranoid about doing it wrong. That's why it's taken me a while to because I want to make sure I'm doing it 100% correctly so that I can see the full
Because
effect.
because you're doing it yourself, I'm sure you do it well. You being the studious kind of person that you
Hmm.
are. But because you're doing it yourself, there's no rush. You
Right,
can do it during your free time, just learn at your own pace.
right.
It's
I'm
not,
a,
you're going to be fully qualified at taking care of your own body at the end of it. So,
hey, and
yeah,
that's the goal, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Have more control
More
over.
control, take control. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, it's been lovely speaking with you. And again, I'm going to have everything down below in the description box where everyone can find you and your products, testimonials, and everything else. Is there anything else that you would like to leave us with before we go?
Well, actually, there is. Um, Today's world is quite selfish, and I'd like to encourage people to pass love forwards, which means passing love to strangers, people you don't know, even people you think They don't deserve it, like your enemies. Past live forwards and miracles happen.
Absolutely.
This is just what
I
I'd like
love
to
that.
say.
That's a really great note to depart on. That's beautiful. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And hopefully this has inspired you to look more into the spooky too, into the Rife machine, into the benefits of it. And hopefully something here made you feel hopeful, right?
Right,
All right.
right.
Take good care. Okay.
Thank you for having me on your show,
Yes,
Lisa.
of course. Of course. Thank you for being here.